Welcome back to OtakuDaiKun. Oh, thank you. Yes, as of today I have released my video kill counting the 5th Holy Grail War of Stay Night. All 3 routes. It's quite fascinating. Now, obviously I was not expecting this to sneak up on me like it did. This little prologue, but it's hella interesting from what I hear. I have no idea how long it's gonna take for me to read it, but we'll find out, won't we? We're just gonna go through it. Could be a long one, could be a short one. Yo, hello. Prologue. Yes, we're transitioning out of the Epic of Remnants into the Lostbelts. It's kind of surprising to see it finally getting there. And I don't know the full story of it, this is going to be exciting. December 26, 2019, Sarah has completed her mission. She repaired every singularity, saving mankind from a dire existential threat. The Ray-Shift system, which let her fight the destruction of proper human history, has been placed on lockdown as of this moment. The servants summoned to Chaldea have been released from their contracts, their tasks complete. Save for Chaldea's acting director, Leonardo da Vinci. Every Chaldean servant is gone, vanished from the face of the earth. What? No! No! That's awful. No more fun. No more orgies. Woo! 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 My alarm. Woo! Woo! Morning, foe. Pardon the intrusion, Master Sarah. Oh, you're already awake. Good morning, Senpai. You must have been exhausted after all the Christmas cleanup. I'm glad Acting Director Da Vinci gave everyone today off. After we all went a little wild last night. It's hard to believe it's been a whole year since we completed the Grand Order and prevented the incineration of humanity. Yesterday may have been our last opportunity to eat with the staff we've come to know so well. But we shouldn't be too sad about that. They all have great jobs waiting for them at their next employers. I was also told that you'll be going back to your family's home, Senpai. Do you, know what you'll be doing after that? I got such a huge paycheck that I'm totally at a loss. No, we need to know what Mashu's doing. I'm going to stay at Chaldea for just a little while longer, after everyone else leaves. All of our medical data may be safely backed up, but we still have to finish dismantling Chaldea's summoning system, so... Woo! Woo! I don't know why you'd have to dismantle it. I think you should just put it on lockdown like they said. Oh? What was that all about? He just ran off down the hallway all of a sudden. I'd better go look for him, to make sure he doesn't interfere with everyone else's packing. Please, you just relax, Senpai. I'll see you again tonight at the farewell party. It's gonna be a depressing fucking party, man. I guess I'll be saying goodbye to this room soon. Yes, she is now finally aged enough because she's not dead. You can thank Foe for that. She's no longer really a servant at the moment, I guess. Maybe I'll take a walk around. Did you hear the news? They say the inspectors for the inquiry board are already at the foot of the mountain. Wow, we finally get to see some Chaldea staff. We didn't get to see them the entire fucking time that we were doing the Grand Orders, but whatever. Apparently they'll be coming up here by helicopter once the blizzard dies down. Soon we'll have a new director appointed by the Mages Association, along with 50 of their flunkies. Saying it's an investigation sanctioned by the UN sounds nice, but let's not kid ourselves about what this is. It's just a hostile takeover. All this time, the higher-ups at the association have written off Chaldea as just another observatory. But the moment they see its value, they swoop in to milk it for all it's worth. Maybe it's weird for me to be upset about this, but I feel sorry for Olga Marie. She'd never have wanted things to turn out this way. Well, that's a surprise. You couldn't stand her back when she was alive. I mean, sure, I remember how she used to yell about everything and anything and everything. Plus, she was, well, incompetent. Messed up all the time. But still, when I think back on it, I can't help but be impressed at how well she did despite all that. Honestly, we should have been more considerate of her circumstances. Even if she was the daughter of a lord family, she was still just a girl fresh out of school who recently lost her father. I guess, but you just have to set that sort of thing aside when you take a position of power, right? As the heir to the Animospheres, she should have had that stuff completely covered, no matter what her age or how recent her dad's death was. To be brutally honest, she should have never taken over as director in the first place, but she clung to the authority it gave her anyway. And look where that got us. Chaldea was nearly obliterated, and we had to beg the Mages Association for help to rebuild it. So it sucks, but if we want Chaldea to keep going, we have to let this new director take over. And if Olga Marie was still here, you can bet she'd be first in line to hand off the responsibility, seeing as the alternative is having to shut down for good. Hey there. Edgar Allan Poe's work? Yeah. A long time ago. I think I'll watch it when it goes on, Crunchyroll. And how did my Christmas event go? Well, Christmas event is just more grindfest. My actual Christmas I spent, making an AMV for the first time in years. And that'll be up, on Tuesday. Sorry, I'm a little zoned today. Oh, hey there, candidate Sarah. Taking a walk around Chaldea? Enjoy it while you can. This is probably your last chance for a peaceful walk with fond memories here. Once the investigation gets going, there'll be scary security guards walking around like they own the place. You know, maybe I should take a page from your book and go for a walk myself. This might be the last chance I'll get to go wherever I want around here without a security pass. So you're staying here, Dustin? Oh, right. You were just an ordinary engineer, weren't you? Well, excuse me for being ordinary, princess. This is why I hate talking with you upstart mage jerks. An ordinary engineer? Sure, not everyone who works for Chaldea is a mage. I used to study cosmic rays as a run-of-the-mill physicist, before I came here. Think you would make a good servant? Who are we talking about? It was the last director, Murrisbury, who offered me a job here. At the time, I was struggling just to get by. I'm guessing he wanted me for my experience with particle accelerators. At first I thought he was full of shit. But eventually his earnestness and passion won me over. Before I knew it, I found myself out here in the middle of nowhere. That was 15 years ago. As far as I'm concerned, this place is my home now. Is that so? I'm headed to London myself. One of the Clock Tower factions liked what they saw and made me an offer I couldn't refuse. But hey, if they start talking about making a new Chaldeus there, maybe I'll give you a call. Oh, Poe? Maybe. I mean, the thing about making authors is like they would all just be wind up like casters, just like Shakespeare. Which could be interesting. Not too much for me. We're not kids anymore, right? Nothing wrong with selling your hard-earned expertise to the highest bidder in this day and age. That's just like you, Sylvia. You always were a real piece of work, but I appreciate your consideration, or at least as close as you can get. While you're here, candidate Sarah, on second thought, let me just call you Sarah. The inspectors are going to have some questions for you, seeing as you're one of the master candidates. Sorry. And the Mages Association people are all about 10 times more calculating and devious than Sylvia here. I don't think you'll be in any danger as long as Da Vinci's around, but watch out all the same. No matter how horrible they are to you, you can't lose your temper with them. Like they say, the only way to win is to not play. Just smile and nod. Try not to let them get to you. Don't worry, just play up the goody two-shoes act and they'll run out of nits to pick soon enough. You'll be out of there in no time. I agree with that. Besides, you didn't do anything wrong, Sarah. If push comes to shove, we'll vouch for that ourselves. Given the circumstances, you took the best course of action possible, and did everything you could. We can all attest to that, so don't be afraid to hold your head high and tell them. Yep, I'm Sarah, Master of Chaldea, and Savior of Humanity. What do you want? Damn straight. Well, hey, if it isn't Sarah. How come you're not with Mashu? This year's only got a few days left in it, you know. If I were you, I'd want to make sure I had as many happy memories as possible together with her before I left. I just wanted to say my last goodbye to you. Well, thanks for that. Too bad about the whole last part, though. But never mind that, I still have to finish writing this report. Got some last-minute things I need to take care of before tomorrow, you see. Anyway, you've got questions, right? Mind if I keep writing while I answer you? Fine with me. Great. No need to bother telling you what they are, or telling me what they are. Da Vinci knows what's up. The new director who'll be here soon, the pending investigation, what's going to happen to Chaldea. So how about we review everything that's happened so far? In the year 2017, Chaldea detected an abnormality in Chaldeas, a simulation of the world, as it'll be 100 years in the future. The light of civilization had gone missing from Chaldeas, which meant that it had observed the end of humanity. We hypothesized that the source of this abnormality lay in 2004, in the Japanese town of Fuyuki. We decided to send Team A, of which Mashu was a member, there on an experimental ray shift. Unfortunately, the entire team was incapacitated in an act of sabotage, as were the other masters on standby. That's Chaldea down 47 masters in a single stroke. But then there was you, Sarah, the 48th master. You were just a commoner selected to fill a quota, but you ray-shifted successfully. And so, as humanity's last master, the mission of you preventing mankind's extermination fell to you. That began the Grand Order, our mission to restore humanity. Chaldea went on to fix 7 singularities before finding the final singularity. There, they defeated the King of Mages, the one behind the incineration of humanity, and succeeded at repairing the foundations of human history. Hello! Epic Remnant was awesome, though. I have no issues with that. Especially Shinjuku, that was good. That's right. You are the one who officially completed the Order, and who took back the world for mankind. The very world you're standing on right now. But your incredible legendary adventure has come to an end, and it's time to return to reality. Frankly, it's time to pass the torch. We've lost 80% of our staff, and we simply can't continue operating as matters stand. So we're getting an influx of new staff from the outside. The formalities were finished about a month ago, and they just finished choosing the new staff last week. Which means they've now been discussing what to do with us for almost a year. This staff is practically knocking on the doorstep as we speak. In a few days, Chaldea will officially be under new management. A new Chaldea. That's right. We'll have a new director chosen by the Mages Association itself, along with the staff he personally trained. The new director is, oh great, Gordolf Music. So that's... it's like Gord from, I've never lost any progress in this game. I have had Persona 4 The Golden go corrupt on me on my PlayStation Vita after I had just beaten the game. I was gonna do my New Game Plus. Shit pisses me off. But yeah, music. That's like Gord from Fate Apocrypha, the fat guy with Siegfried. He's heir to a fairly well-known family in the Magecraft world. I'm told he spent pretty much everything he had to snag Chaldea and all its benefits. I don't know why it's, like, up to them. I guess it's because Olga's dead. But, like, what are the laws that, you know, determine what you do with Chaldea after their director is killed? He probably did that as a show of power, to let everyone know that Chaldea is now exclusively under Music family control. Gord's son, gotcha. The proceedings are already underway, and it looks like most of our current staff are all being let go. But that's not the problem. You'll still be you, even if they kick you out of Chaldea for good. Do you have your transfer code anywhere? Because that's the only way to retrieve your account if something happens to your phone. FGO kill count video? No. It's not even animated, for one. It would be rather boring, and two, I don't consider it a traditional Grail war. The problem is the UN inspectors who will be coming along with them. Grand Order or not, there's no denying Chaldea broke a whole mess of regulations. Changing personnel without clearing it with the Mages Association, disclosing highly classified information to low-level personnel. Dude, the fact that the Mages Association is working with the UN is not good. I don't like the UN. Overusing servant summons, which were supposed to be limited up to 7 servants, conducting ray shifts without UN authorization. As far as they're concerned, these are all major crimes. Even though we were fighting to protect humanity? Exactly. Not a single one of us did anything for our own personal benefit. Couldn't even if we wanted to, in fact, seeing as we were the only humans left in the entire world. A lot of doujinshi would suggest otherwise. You could argue that they abused the servant summoning system to have massive orgies, which... basically? But unfortunately, that meant less than nothing to them. Sure, they could see what we were fighting against in the data. The year-long global bank, the traces of the singularities left behind on Sheba. Unbelievable as the incineration of humanity might be, the Association had to admit that it really did happen. What do you mean, did we even summon servants in Part 1? We summoned shit tons of servants in Part 1. But for them, the data is just that, data. All they had to say in response was, so what? As far as they're concerned, the world ended while they were sleeping, and by the time they woke up, it was all back to normal. This is so stupid. You know, yes, that would be the UN's motive, wouldn't it? You looted the loli. We're gonna get you. More like the loli looted herself, because presumably this is stuff that's actually happening by people's discretion. within their world. Does Shiki's death perception count as a true magic? Not officially, or not formally, but it's very similar. But yeah, how does the UN even know about the Mages Association? That's the really weird thing. And why would they want to be in with the Mages Association? Actually, the next Lessons in Magecraft video I have to make is on the Mages Association and all its various branches. So, yeah, looks like I'm gonna be pretty busy figuring this shit out first. The only thing they can see is the scores of dead, the valuable master candidates who were injured. And the litany of rules Chaldea broke while this was going on. What? Then why don't we bring servants from Chaldea to Part 1 Singularities? We did. What are you talking about? Part 1 was all those singularities we went to, and we were bringing the servants along. Is the prologue limited time? I have no idea. So this investigation is taking place to determine if these acts were deliberate. In the eyes of the Association, the staff of Chaldea is nothing more than a band of criminals. So, like, in order to make Chaldea a dream come true, they had to work with the UN as well, I guess. I should do Fate audiobooks. If it were legal, I would, actually. I would love to read something like Sky Silver prototype stuff, but I don't think I could do that. Have I heard about Orion? Yes, I did. Crazy beefcake. Of course, that's why I'm writing all these reports, to prove that this is all just a big misunderstanding. Since data is all I've got to work with, and data is how we're going to cover our asses. Once I prove that everything Chaldea did was in order to preserve humanity, not to betray it, my work here will finally be done. And the weight of everything he stuck me with will finally be off my shoulders, including you, Sarah. So what is this paperwork you're going to file? Mostly our servant usage records, and our servants' current conditions. I know you don't think of them that way, but servants are extremely powerful weapons, you know? So as far as the people outside are concerned, this is of critical importance, since it has to do with their own safety. Oh, and there's one more serious issue you should be aware of, especially since it concerns you directly. The blast in the command room let all 47 of those masters, left them with horrific injuries. With them all near death, we cryogenically froze them in their coffins. We've been slowly thawing them out, one by one, over the past year. Not only the 7 Team A masters, whose coffins were still activating when the blast went off. Again, the entire team, save for Mashu, remain in cryo storage. It's a good bit harder to thaw and revive them, you see, so we kept putting it off until they were in perfect condition. But once this investigation gets underway, we should finally be able to revive them thanks to new staff who specialize in healing spells. And I'm guessing that once that happens, some of these Team A masters are going to take over as the new masters of Chaldea. The new director has been saying he won't need you anymore, and that you'll be relieved of your position within the year. because he's already got his eye on other masters he trusts from distinguished mage families. Anyway, I know this is all a lot to deal with, but don't you worry, I'll take care of everything. I haven't spent the last 6 months preparing for this day for nothing. I believe you mean we, Leonardo da Vinci. After all, I am the one who did most of the work investigating the Association's movements, anonymizing the spirit origin graph, and dismissing the servants. Not that it was especially onerous for me, of course. Holmes? Ah yes, precisely the sort of reaction I was hoping for. That makes all the time I spent hiding in the shadows worthwhile. Why did you have to let someone, even her, know you were here, Holmes? Sorry about that, Sarah. The fact that Holmes is here is the toppest of top secrets. I have not so much as included his name in any of my reports to the Association. As far as they know, Sherlock Holmes was never among the heroic spirits summoned to Chaldea, and I mean to keep it that way. I guess you could call this a kind of insurance policy, just in case everything goes south. Insurance policy? Indeed, in the event that we face an enemy we cannot see. We will need an ally the enemy cannot see in turn, hence our extreme caution. Of course, I am no fighter. Should things turn violent, I won't hesitate to retreat to the workshop. What about your Baritsu? Baritsu is strictly for self-defense. If armed assailants were to attack, I would only be able to protect myself. Whoa, whoa, easy there. Things may get heated, but they're not going to turn violent. The main reason I had Holmes stay behind was to help with something I've been working on. You see, Holmes is an even more skilled scientist and mage than his stories let on. So I figured he would be the perfect choice to help me with a little something I've been building. It's a box. Look at this, just an ordinary briefcase, right? But its contents are more valuable than all the treasures in this world combined. We still haven't finished moving everything around, so I can't take it out just yet, but we should be done in another 5 days. If my calculations are correct, and they always are, it'll be done before we have to leave Chaldea. I'll tell you what it is then. I most heartily concur. Now then, I think I shall return to the workshop. And don't worry. If a time should come that when you are imprisoned, that is when I shall reveal my most secret technique. Seduction. What? A secret technique? Oh, come on, he was obviously talking about lockpicking. Any decent detective is an expert with lockpicks. Oni-chan? Who's the Oni-chan here? Section 2. Section 2. 30 terabytes of porn inside this briefcase. I don't know if you need a briefcase just for that. Probably fancy fucking flash drive. December 27th, 2019. The blizzard is come and gone, now that all that remains is clear blue sky. Before long, the pale blue is marked by a single black dot of an approaching helicopter. The helicopter brings important passengers, and the harsh reality that the end is close at hand. "44 visitors cleared and registered. All entrants are permitted to enter Chaldea by special exemption granted by the Association Board of Safety. Opening front gate. Welcome, Gurdolf Music. Welcome, UN inspectors. On behalf of Chaldea, we thank you for coming." So this is it. I wonder what this new director, the Mages Association, chose is like. Gurdolf Music, male, 28 years old, heir to a wealthy family of alchemists. In the clock tower, where the Mages Association is headquartered, he's considered to be, well, about average. Much as the Musics can boast a long familial history within the world of magecraft, they have essentially accomplished nothing. Yes, he's always been, They've been in the shadow of the Einsburns for ages, basically. They want to push and prove themselves, which is why in Apocrypha, the music team joins up with Darnik. The only thing that sets them apart from other mages is the extra bit of wealth they've accumulated by virtue of existing longer. Gordolf's basically just a rich brat from a well-off family. The question is, why did someone like that end up as Chaldea's new director? I can't be certain until we meet him ourselves, but if I were to guess... Oh! Ho! This is great! Better than great! I didn't have very high hopes for a lab out in the middle of nowhere, so you can imagine my surprise and delight to see how modern it all is. In fact, I think it might be even more advanced than the ones in London. What a bargain! Speak of the devil, he certainly got a boisterous voice. Just remember, Sarah, silence is golden. Trust me, this is the sort of person whose bad side you want to avoid, even more than Olga Marie's. Piss him off, and you'll never hear the end of it. Oh, and you must be the servant I had heard about in the report. You certainly do look the part. Let's see, Leonardo da Vinci, was it? Not bad at all for a replica of a well-known genius. I always did prefer a beautiful woman for a familiar. Your Excellency, I believe the remark could be construed as sexual harassment. Remember that the servant is, for all intents and purposes, the acting director. Meanwhile, she's like sporting like the most massive cleavage in this like midriff bearing. And she's drawn by Nero's artist. Well, she's pretty, I'll give her that. Though it amounts to little more than running a dinky factory out in the sticks, she has managed to keep Chaldea going in lieu of a proper director over the past year. It would be in your best interest to get on her good side. Why not lead with a compliment? Koyanskaya? That's a crazy name. Forgive me if I'm butchering it. I thought I told you to whisper those sorts of things to me. Besides, I have no intention of getting chummy with a servant, no matter how beautiful she may be. Why, thank you. You're the last person I'd ever want to hear that from, but I'll take it as a compliment nonetheless. Welcome to Chaldea's security organization. Director Music, you must be tired after your long trip here. Not at all. Aside from the month we lost due to waiting around for the blizzard to clear up, it was almost a pleasant trip indeed. Or it was a most. Now then, without further ado, Leonardo da Vinci, was it? Just call me Da Vinci, or Castor, if you find that even too much to remember. Very well, Castor should more than suffice. I am told that you have been filling in after the director Olga Marie Animasphere and the acting director Romani Archiman suffered some unfortunate accidents that led to them being unable to perform their duties. Well, no, that's not Takeuchi's artwork. I forgot who the artist's name is. The one that does the art for Fate Extra. Yeah. Your hard work is appreciated, but no longer required as of now. I am assuming sole command of Chaldea. What's more, much as I hate to do so, I'll be taking all of you into custody immediately. Easy there, Mashu. Sarah, just play it nice and cool. Lobo, meet dinner. To be fair, I think that's how most management is when they get hired on to do shit like this. They just jump in and they're like, I need to assert dominance. I don't care how you've been doing things before, but this is my place now. Like, that happens even at my job. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, man? My, what an unpleasant surprise. Custody, you say? Did I hear you right? I'm afraid you have no grounds to do so, not until this investigation is over, at least. Wada Arco? Gotcha. Yep. I knew the name, I just didn't know for sure that was the right one. Have the powers that already ruled, or haven't the powers that be already ruled that Chaldea is no more than a criminal cartel? And you have simply neglected to inform us? Because I am quite sure that if that were the case, you would have come with more in the way of soldiers. We are the mysterious organization that saved the whole world, after all. If there was a warrant for our arrest, you would have come with a small army at the very least. But you only brought a paltry 40 soldiers. Doesn't seem fit for the task, does it? So this isn't something that the Mages Association decided, but a call you made on your own, right? Why don't we get the association on the phone and see what they have to say about this? Or would you prefer I didn't do that? What's the meaning of this? Koyenskaya, that servant is too smart for her own good. Didn't you tell me the only people left at Chaldea were a bunch of engineers and a master who was still wet behind the ears? I thought there wasn't supposed to be anyone here who would disobey me. Yes, Your Excellency, that was my understanding when I introduced this property to you. But my report must have been in error. Sorry about that. I'm afraid that servant is a reprehensible villain who doesn't know her place and thinks she doesn't have to listen to those of us with the Mages Association. Wait a moment. Koyenskaya, wouldn't a familiar who doesn't obey a mage be somewhat, dangerous? Come now, Your Excellency, that won't do. You need to be aggressive. Show these people who's boss. What a tool. What a tool. Don't worry, we at NFF Services specialize in just these sorts of unlikely situations. Even if worse comes to worse, we won't let them lay a finger on you. Of course, that is a special additional service, so it won't come cheap. What's this? Don't tell me you're trying to shake me down yet again, Koyenskaya. Your Excellency. Yes, I know, don't worry. I'm a man of action when I need to be. You've got quite a mouth on you, don't you, Leonardo? Just to be clear, this is far from the only personnel I brought with me from the association. Our helicopter will be back and forth, ferrying many personnel over who are still on the boat. All told, there are about 120 security guards who have yet to arrive. It would be all too easy to take over Chaldea with force, and I assure you that is a decision the Mages Association would back wholeheartedly. We would be well within our rights to consider the entire current staff criminals, and to haul them up and lock them away while we investigate Chaldea. Having said that, I would prefer to avoid violence, should that be possible. Most of you will be fired regardless, but I would prefer we part on amicable terms. As such, I will have the 4 of you kept in a single room. You will wait there until the Inquiry Board summons you for your individual hearings. During that time, we will proceed with our inquiry into Chaldea's activities, while we begin to transition over to the new staff. How does that sound? I believe this is the most peaceful option on the table. I dare say you wouldn't get such a generous offer from another member of a wealthy mage family, like those blinded by their pride in brand ranks. They may think of those like you with no talent magecraft as little more than slaves, but not me. And above all, I'd like to spare myself the tedium of torturing you for every piece of information. I prefer to let Koyenskaya handle that. Well, me too, if anyone's gonna torture me. You should be grateful that I'm such a gentleman. Just do as I say and it'll be released soon enough. Wah! Wario! Whoa. I see, the Mages Association certainly sent us quite a piece of work, didn't they? Thank you for that breathtaking display of chivalry, Director Music. Now may I ask you something? I'd like to know why you brought up the right to Chaldea. Bought up the right to Chaldea. Surely a little research lab out in the middle of nowhere couldn't have much of interest? Not much of interest? I'll be the judge of that. True, Chaldea doesn't enjoy the best reputation at the clock tower. I can't count how many times I've heard them say things like, their magecraft theories are nonsense, and they're just a bunch of incompetent frauds, or they're a disgrace to the 12 Lords. To hear them talk, you'd think they were discussing a problem child they wished had never been born. But not me. I believe there's tremendous value to be found here. Chaldea shows real promise. Or at least it will once I'm instated as director. At any rate, when I learned that Chaldea was being broken up into 7 parts and auctioned off, I made my decision and took action. I used the entirety of the Music family fortune to buy all of Chaldea's assets and prevent its dismantling. You see, the Clock Tower's people were desperate to get their hands on technology they could bring back to their respective departments. But I just detest them. I couldn't stand to see them get what they want. An organization needs all of its parts, just like a human body. It's barbaric to try and carve out its heart or lop off one of its arms. I wanted Chaldea in its natural, untarnished state, and now I have it. But I suppose there's an exception to every rule. The staff of an organization may be its lifeblood, but we won't be keeping them around. There you go, Sarah. As you can see, he's hardly the most formidable opponent we've ever faced. I believe that this is more than enough in the way of pleasantries, Director Music. You are the future of Chaldea, and they are the past. There is no need for you to reach any sort of understanding with them, nor for them to like you. More importantly, now that the Church is all ready to investigate, I would like to begin as soon as possible. Indeed. You make an excellent point, Father Kotomine. Oh yes, allow me to introduce you. This is... Pleased to make your acquaintance. My name is Kotomine Kirei, the last person you should ever want to see. I'm a priest sent here to investigate on behalf of the Holy Church. I will be staying here for a few days until the investigation is concluded. It's a pleasure to meet the saviors of humanity, people of Chaldea. I may not be here long, but I hope we can help each other out during my stay. I can't believe Chaldea's disciplinary room is now being used as a confinement cell. You said it. If I'd known we were going to end up stuck in here, I'd have loosened up the purse strings when I came to its budget. Just look at these rock-hard beds. The obsolete air conditioner, this cut-rate lighting. It may as well have been a confinement cell all along. At least we're technically allowed to leave if we want, but still. Yeah, at least our bathroom is separate from the dining area. I don't care for the way the new director goes about business, but... I'm glad they didn't separate us, Mashu. Now we can make out in the confinement cell! Me too. I'm still processing being placed in custody like this, but as long as you're here, Senpai, I don't think I have to be afraid. Still, Acting Director Da Vinci, I think I have a handle on who Mr. Gordolf is by now, but those other two, Miss Koyanskaya and Father Kotomine, you still don't know what their deal is, right? I haven't been able to get a read on them either. I can tell they're not your everyday secretary and priest, but that's all I can tell. I can't get a read on their magecraft abilities either. So, if fucking Kirei is here, doesn't that mean, that basically... Did he still, like, kill his wife? Or want to kill his wife or whatever? Just how fucked up is he in this? All I know about Father Kotomine is that he's from the Church, another organization that's long butted heads with the Mages Association. As their name suggests, the Holy Church is a mysterious organization based on a religion that has followers all around the globe. They see mystics as something that's solely under their domain, and suffer neither magecraft nor heresy in the name of their lord. Their mission is more or less to bring all human knowledge under their control. They were a lot more aggressive about that back when I was alive, but nowadays they seem to be playing their cards much closer to their chest. I'm guessing that priest must be part of their combat team. Executors, I think they call them. They're supposed to be devotees of the blade who spread God's teachings in his absence. That's all you need to know about them. These executors are both faithful and heretical. Monsters who fight mages and mystical creatures. They may not be a match for servants, but they are frighteningly powerful in a fight. True, I can tell that priest is adept at hunting and fighting. Or at the least, that's what Galahad is telling me. As for Koyanskaya, we know so little about her that it's almost comical. She isn't affiliated with either the Mages Association or the Holy Church. It looks like she was the one who may have convinced Gordolf to acquire Chaldea. Aside from that, she did mention NFF services. I've heard of them before. They made headlines in Russia about 6 months ago. They're a private military company, mercenaries basically. Word has it that they're a group of specialists who never met a job they didn't like. I think they go around billing themselves as global kitschy business consultants? Russia, The Mages Association doesn't have much sway there. So how did she and Gordolf come to know each other? No, wait. There's a number of academics among their new staff. They're all from NFF services. In which case, they must plan on reviving Team A with the new staff alone. What? That's insane. Don't they know how much constant attention adjusting the coffins require during the unthawing process? We've done it more than anyone, and it still has a huge chance of failure, even for us. There's no way people who have never done it before can pull it off on their own. Yep, pretty solid chance they'll fail, and Chaldea's 7 A-ranked masters will be lost for good. Of course, that may be the point. Sarah, get out here. The inspectors want to talk to you. Well now, looks like they're not wasting any time getting the interrogation party started. I'm surprised they'd kick things off with you, though. Wait and see what their net game is. Remember, silence is golden. Try not to say anything more than is absolutely necessary. Got it. Good. The case inspector is waiting for you in room 3. Just answer his questions honestly and you'll be released in no time. Don't even think about trying to resist. Ugh, 6 hours, endless questions. I wish I knew what they actually asked. You look exhausted, little kitty. This is your first time playing with the big boys? Then you'd better hurry up and learn how the game is played. As they say, experience is every— Ah!
Fuck you!
Oh.
Fuck you!
Oh, is this your cat? I'm sorry, I couldn't help but hit back.
You!
Whoops, clumsy me. Now I've gone and stepped on it. But what can you do? This is how it goes when the weak attack the strong. Maybe once upon a time this thing was more impressive, but now it's just this puny little hairball. It's the way of the world that finds itself under the heel of a stronger animal, don't you think? Get away from foe! You hot bitch! Oh, so wild. How brave of you to bare your fangs for your little pet. It's even cuter how they're barely more than nubs. But I can't just let it go. No, not after it went for my perfect skin with its little claws. Normally I'd break a leg or two so it knows not to mess with me again, but I might be willing to let it go unharmed if you agree to chat with me for a bit. So what do you say? Care to swap secrets with little old me? I'm trusting you to keep your word. Now, settle down, little foe. Your owner and I are just going to get down to brass tacks, after all. Alright, now that we have an agreement, my dear Sarah, here's my first question. How much do you know about Chaldea? I'm told you were scouted in some random country and brought here directly. But no matter how you slice it, you were born into a commoner's family. I bet you didn't even know the first thing about magecraft before you came here, did you? No, don't answer. It's all over your face. I see. So you had a strong aptitude for ray shifting. I can't believe you came all this way on that alone. Do you even know where you are? They probably didn't even tell you which country Chaldea is located in, did they? All I know is we're on a very tall mountain. You're at the heart of one of the most secluded areas in the world. One not in the borders of any nation. An unobservable mountain that's been hidden behind a barrier of magecraft for hundreds of years. Had Chaldea actually told you where you'd be going when they recruited you, I doubt you'd have ever signed up. I can practically see your protests, asking if they've lost their mind, expecting you to go so far away. Trust me, this place is as isolated as you can get. I could show you the 6 months' work of paperwork it took to buy this place to prove it. But never mind that. It doesn't concern you, anyway. The thing I'm dying to learn more about is the original 48 Masters. Of those, 9 are still here, Mashu Kyrielite, those 17 Team A Masters in cryostorage, and you. The other 39 have been revived and sent home. No doubt they went back to living their lives in peace, but the first thing is, their personal information still goes for a very high price. And why wouldn't it? Now that it's been proven that race shifting is possible, each of those candidates is worth their weight in gold. But none of them are likely to fetch as high a price as Team A. They were the 7 people who were originally meant to save the world, not you. Oh wait, that's not right, is it? Let me rephrase that. The 7 people from whom you stole the opportunity of a lifetime. Okay, that's enough out of you, my little footstool. Think you can kneel for me like a good little weakling before the plane comes in for a landing? Now then, tell me, how much do you know about those 7 people? Don't tell me you've never heard anything about them the whole time you've been here. They're your great senpai, after all. I'm pretty sure even Mashu knows a thing or two about them. After all, they were training together to be masters long before you knew what Chaldea was. Oh. No way. You really have no idea? Never mind their magecraft affinity. You don't even know their names? You're kidding. I didn't know you were so cold-hearted, Sarah. In that case, you really can't blame them if they wake up pissed off at you, can you? After all, you stole everything from them. Their jobs, their purpose, even their place at Chaldea.
Boo! Boo! Boo!
Oh my, that was close. Come now, little foe, you shouldn't keep going after a lady's face. Keep acting up like this and I might just have to defend myself. Maybe by biting off your head. That would be it for you and you wouldn't have any more chances to learn again, would you? Oh drat, look at the time. I'm supposed to meet Sir Gordolf soon. So on that note, I think I'll be on my way now. No more wasting time on a know-nothing patsy. Lucky for you, you're so ignorant, isn't it, Sarah? If you knew anything at all about even one of the Team A Masters, I'd be rushing you off to grill you about them in solitary for as long as it took. But sadly, it looks like that Honeylicious branch isn't available to us, so bye for now. And be careful what a beautiful woman comes your way from now on. Trust me, you don't want to find yourself falling for the honeypot.
Boo! Boo!
The Team A Masters. Welcome back, Senpai. I see you met up with Foe on the way. He's been hiding out for a while, so I'm relieved to see him with you. Senpai, is something wrong? Did the investigation go badly? It's about Team A. Team A? Now that you mention it, I never did tell you about them, did I? I didn't mean to keep it from you. We just never really had the time to discuss them. That's true, especially since the 7 Team A Masters ended up not being at all involved in stopping the incineration of humanity. But now that they're about to be thawed out, we have nothing better to do. This seems as good a time as any to tell you a little bit about them. Team A refers to a group of A-ranked masters, hand-picked by Chaldea. Mashu was originally part of this team too. Call us the A-Team! First up, here's Daria Wodim, the chairman of the Animosphere-controlled Astromancy Department, one of the Clock Tower's 12 departments of study, and the official Team A leader. He's the head of the exceptionally distinguished Wodim family, whose name and magical circuits have both been around for thousands of years. He's also Marisbury's top pupil, and was rumored to be a better heir to the lordship than Olga Marie. He was expected to forge a contract with the Lancer, in terms of overall magecraft compatibility. He was head and shoulders above the rest. How the fuck do I say that? Ophelia Famersalone, the prodigy of the evocation department. She possessed special mystic eyes. She wore an eye patch that really made her stand out, even here. She was expected to forge a contract with a saber, but she seemed to be particular about what sort of heroic spirits she would contract with. Kadak Zamlupus. Jesus, what a name. Nothing special as far as mages go, but his affinity for ray shifting was exemplary. His story is pretty similar to yours, seeing as he was the only ordinary member along all geniuses on Team A. But his kindness more than made up for it, even if it did descend into self-deprecation at times. Yes, I remember. Kadak was always concerned for others, though he also had a pessimistic side which bothered him as much as anyone else. He was expected to form a contract with a caster. He didn't have much magical energy, so he wanted to avoid a combat-oriented servant who would guzzle up everything he had before the fight had even begun. Next up, Scandinavia. Scandinavia Peperoncino. Peperoncino? What a name. Yes, you heard me. Scandinavia Peperoncino. Nobody knows his origins, and he's using a pseudonym, obviously. He was a freelance mage Marisbury recruited after they met abroad. Cheerful and funny, he always had a joke ready that kept Team A's spirits high. He was also the oldest member of the team. You could say he was a man a bit ahead of his time. He was expected to form a contract with an archer. He had an Italian air about him, but he was also strangely knowledgeable about Buddhism. Naturally, he also knew a lot about Indian mythology. Said he liked myths and cycles about death and rebirths. Akuta Hinako. She got her start in Yumina, the botany department, which is tied to the studies of witches at the clock tower. She used to be a part of Caldea's engineering team before her latent talents were spotted and she was added to the pool of master candidates. Pepe? Oh, okay. Peperoncino. Peperoncino. Fine. She was the kind of person who would have been happy doing nothing more than curling up with a good book from morning till night. She had a strange aura about her you couldn't help but notice. Come to think of it, Romani used to sulk about how she'd never come in for routine physicals. She was expected to form a contract with a rider. That was more important to her for some reason. Next, Beryl Gut. As for him... I guess we don't have to cover all these masters in depth. Moving on. Last but not least, we have... right. David Void. He was something of an enigma, really, a loose cannon, you could say. Even got himself banned from his department at the Mages Association. That would be the Folklore Department. Or Brishan, if you're wondering. They deal with otherworldly artifacts. It's an unorthodox field of study despite being led by the Clock Tower's Chancellor. Anyway, Marsbury had the highest regard for David's talent. I thought he was a rare find, too. There's only one. Maybe two other people I recognized as geniuses even when I was alive. And David was right up there with them. He never tried to understand anyone else, and nobody ever else tried to understand him. He was expected to form a contract with a berserker, though no one ever expected him and his servant to reach any sort of understanding. Speaking of you, when does she become a servant? Like, when do we get to roll for her? Any estimation? I wouldn't be surprised if he were a werewolf. Maybe he's involved in that event that has, Atalante altar? Who knows? And that's every master on Team A. Quite the cast of characters, right? But don't let that get to you. If anything, they're the ones who would be timid around you now. They may have been your senpai a year ago, but now you're the senpai, and you've got the experience to prove it. Team A is nothing if not a meritocracy. They respect people based on their accomplishments, and yours have been pretty incredible. In fact, if I were you, I wouldn't bank on getting any sleep for a week or so once they're awake. They'll be constantly bugging you to tell them all about your experiences in the singularities. Wodim has a great tea stash, as you'd expect from a noble. Katak can be shy, but he's very studious, and is hugely into mythology. Pepe was a great listener. Even Akta, who usually never said much of anything, would open up in front of him. Indeed, I have no doubt that half of Team A would get along great with you, Sarah. Which is exactly why I'm concerned. Thawing them out will have a profound effect on Caldea's future. Gordolf is moving full steam ahead with the thaw, but it'll still take at least 4 days to get all the equipment ready. I can only hope they finish investigating the current staff before they get started. I agree. Our term lasts until the very end of the year. So if the investigation concludes by the 31st, we should just be able to help thaw them out. Only 4 days to go. Right. Whether you stay or go, this is our problem to handle, at least for now. If something were to go down, it'd definitely be on the last day of the year, the 31st. Why are you all laughing about Pepe? Did she say Pepper? Did she say Pepper and I said Pepe? No, it says Pepe. I don't get it. Why is it so funny? I don't know what Pepe guy is. I'm really missing something. Bo is the voice of Morgan Freeman. Oh, Pepe the Frog? Is that why you're getting all over it? Kono Pepe da. So let's just be patient, keep our guards up, and wait for the right opportunity. Sound good, Master of Chaldea? Was that it? Alrighty, so that's still prologue. No, not waiver. Ooh, Moonlight Lostrum, essence extracted. Baby, what do you do? Increases the amount of mastery XP gained. Yeah, you're just a decoration. As far as I'm concerned. Yes, and now we wait. No, I don't care about Pepe. I think it's funny. So yes, we have no servant.
We have no servants, they're all gone.
But yes, the 31st, huh? Well, I will be doing a stream of that. Expect me to schedule that when I have an idea of when I will be doing it. But yes. Did you beat the singularities again to get a new quartz fragment? I usually... Wait. What do these say?
ついにこたつをめぐる第一次こたつ戦争が勃発し、犠牲者が。
Oh, you just do a mission in each one. Oh, no, I hadn't done that. I didn't realize. In fact, I didn't realize there was a Babylonia one even still open to me. Let's see what that shit is. Oh, it was Ishtar's. Shit. Let's go ahead and do that. Why not? Why the fuck not? We love Ishtar, don't we? Yes, because we love to bring along frickin' archers to our Lancer fights. It would be a shame if we didn't do any fighting. Plus, Ari-chan's still doing some work. Hi, what a wonderful day here in Chaldea, don't you think, Master? By the way, I have something to ask you. Do you know what day the new episodes of Babylonia come out? Forgot there's something I needed to do. What kind of response is that? Just sit and listen. You too, Mashu. Me too? What I want to talk about should be obvious. We need to discuss my reward. Reward? But there's no record of Senpai ever asking you to do anything. Well, no, not here in Chaldea, but if you remember, I did do something really big back in Uruk. Oh, right, the Three Goddess Alliance incident. Now do you remember? If my memory serves, I was never compensated for my services. In exchange for my invaluable assistance, you promised me some valuables from you-know-who's treasury. Hello? I did not roll for a Reshkigal. Saturday, huh? Cool. 10%? 20%? Or was it 30%? How'd she find out? Did you really think you could keep that from me? As if. You'd be lucky if I let you slither away from my shrine like a snake trying to pull a stunt like that. I bet he was the one who talked you into that scheme, but that won't fly with me. Well, at the time. It's true that we were all in a dire situation, but I believe the terms were set by Master were valid. Yes, they were valid, and that's why you're going to keep your word, correct? Forsaking an oath made to a goddess is a grave, grave crime. Normally, I'd punish you by eavesdropping in my mini-Venus, so you could suffer its incredible winds for a decade or so. But since we're such good friends, Sarah, we'll set that particular punishment aside. Honestly, making such a huge bluff in a situation so dire took real guts, which means you must be a reliable master. But any oath I make binds me as well, even if it's just a verbal contract. I'm sure you all know what happens if an oath a goddess makes is broken, right? Right. Quetzalcoatl? Quetzalcoatl. Exactly. I'm glad you're keeping up here. In this case, if you do not give me my promised reward, you will face swift and severe divine punishment. It's up to you whether Chaldea here ends up like Mount Ebby. Making Chaldea into an awe-inspiring shrine. Senpai, this is no time to be joking around. We need to do something. Ishtar isn't the sort to make idle threats. Myth and our own experience make that very clear. Wait a minute. What do you mean your experience? Do you actually have any record of my mistakes? Well, Kid Gil mentioned that may come in handy one day. We expect the collected edition to be at least 3 full volumes. There's no way I'd mess up 3 times in the same place. I mean... Anyway, none of us will benefit from Caldea's destruction. Let me propose something to you. I'm heading somewhere to collect a reward, and if you help me out, I will forgive your debt and crimes. What do you think? It's not like I'm going to steal Sarah's savings or anything. Don't you think this is an amazing offer? Working as your collections agent? Based on what you were saying, you mean... You want us to go there, don't you? That's fine, but I need to do the interlude anyway. Ray shifting complete. We arrived at a ruin in Babylon, Master. King Gilgamesh mentioned that he created an underground treasury the size of a city. It's surprisingly vast, and taking even 10% of its contents may be very, very difficult. No, my standard fee is 30%. Plus the fine incurred for trying to trick a goddess who fought all by her lonesome. Then there's the compensation for all my pain and suffering. Oh, and there's interest accrued over the last 5,000 years. When we add it together, all the penalties, late fees, expenses incurred, commission, and a few other items, I suppose I can let you off with... half the contents of the treasury. Half? Seems legit. Well, there's not much point in trying to collect from the dead. Oh right, King Gilgamesh is already... But if that's the case... You're thinking that a great goddess like me could easily smash through the front door if it's just a storehouse whose owner is gone. That's what you think, right? Yes. Unfortunately, his treasury doesn't work like that. It's still active even after it's lost its owner. Even as an enemy, I have to admit it's impressive. Does that mean... Yes, the security measures are active. They're as persistent as their former owner was miserly. Surrounded by gorillas! Wait, while we were talking, I'm detecting an enemy nearby, preparing to intercept them, Master. Yeah, of course Ishtar would look for ways to, spice up her deal. No, I don't even know why they make us bring her around. I should have just done this from the start. Yes, Karen would be wonderful. Karen Hortensia. You stabbed me! It's gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. I bless the rains down in Babylonia. Gonna take some treasure to the girl who really wants it all. Whoa, big boy. The big boy. Don't you usually do summoning streams or vids? I used to. I don't summon a lot on stream because I feel like just too nerve-wracking. And I maybe superstitiously have better luck. You know, I didn't know they made one. I'm gonna have to look that shit up. Sex party's fun. You want summon streams? What can you play this game on? Android or iOS? In, what is it, the US and Canada only? Or does it even, can Canada even do it? Usually Canada can do all the shit we can. Battle is over. That sure was a lot of Lancers, wasn't it, Master? Did you see that? They were all targeting me! Now that you mention it, enemy placement was very efficient, as if anticipating Ishtar's every move. Right? That formation was downright malicious. It was like they knew I flowed and attacked every time I tried to jump into the fray. But it looks like they didn't expect me to bring a reliable assistant, knowing something like this would be waiting. Mashu, stand in front of me, just in case. Now I feel safe. Yep, you really are a shield for humanity. Ishtar, please don't ruin our formation. Fine, fine. Always the bashful one, aren't you, Mashu? Do you not like physical contact or something? Enough playing around. Let's just smash our way through the door. I thought she was just gonna say, enough playing around, let's just smash. I'd be like, let me smash. Please. But I am kind of relying on you, so please keep protecting me and Sarah, okay? You can play on an Amazon Fire, never heard of that. Cool, I can bring whoever I want. Which means we're gonna bring Momo! Christina's cover of Havana? I don't know what you're referring to. Oh, the Fire Tablet. Since half of everything in here is mine, I can just start taking whatever catches my eye, right? That's how conquerors usually talk. That's not true. I deserve this reward. I worked really, really hard, if you recall. I even shattered the foundation of my own city, Uruk. It was really hard fixing everything after that. Ishtar, would you mind if I asked you a question? I believe your shrine is already overflowing with wealth. Why do you love treasure so much? It's not that I love it, it's just the way things are. What do you mean? You think precious gems are beautiful because of how they sparkle in the light, right? So would you be able to tell the difference between a precious gem and a pebble in total darkness? No, I wouldn't be able to sense their difference in magical energy either. Exactly. So this is the example. So in this example, I am the light. Gems I do not own are in the dark. They simply exist and are no different than pebbles. Once they are mine, the gems can properly shine, and those shining gems repay me for the light by making me more beautiful. I'm not sure if it's because of my innate divinity, or if it's just how things happened. But that doesn't matter. The point is, I love things that enhance my beauty. Please do, Ben, and tag me. If it's something Christina covers, hell yeah. And that's not just limited to treasures. The reason why I rule beauty, war, and the harvest is that the ideal state of those authorities is to belong to me. And things are at the most beautiful when they are in the proper place, right? Yes. You know, I don't remember being quite this infatuated with gems in the past. But now, whenever I see gems, I get this antsy feeling and I can't help but think I need to collect as many as I can, wherever I can. That is likely an influence from your current vessel, Ishtar. Admittedly, I do not know anything about your vessel or how she lived and came to think of as she does. Who knows? It's not as if my tastes have changed, just gotten stronger. It might just be a phase. Oh, look, look! That door. That door looks like it's hiding amazing treasure. You're right, its decorations are overwhelmingly ornate. And are all based on Ishtar's tastes. It's a trap! It is so a trap. But why would there be a door like that inside the treasury? Obvious trap is obvious. I concur, Master. I sense only danger. What? It's fine! Security outside was super tight, so they don't need as much inside. Ah! Oh no! The door's eating Ishtar! What kind of sick freak makes a door-shaped mimic? Probably the same idiot who throws swords like arrows. You have to build up to something like that. Whoever designed this must be certifiable. Don't tell me all the doors here are nothing for it to be open, but to open every single one of them up. Yeah. I knew she would do something like this. Every single one was a trap. Whoever made this treasury is a real sadist. Commencing battle. Just try to hold them back, Master. A door-shaped mimic. Chrono Cross. Yay. Mordred, I sicketh you upon the goddess trap. Quite a bit late, in fact, yes. I already did the prologue part, now I'm just doing Ishtar's interlude for fun. I don't know. I would probably fight them all at once if it were me. Get it all over with. When are we expected to get Mordred's animation update? That shit was gorgeous. Yep, we're gonna rot in a cell till New Year's. Ugh. Okay, let's see here. Let's see what you can do, my lovelies. In March? Nice! 2024? No, it already happened in JP.
まあ災難だったと諦めな。
Sorry, I didn't get very good sleep. I've been having weird dreams. Let's see. Rider. Bring a rider. You know, these riders are cool and all, but you know, I gotta have my own rider. And in honor of Babylonia Best Girl, we're doing this. How does the rate up work? The rate up is supposed to... The rate up does not give you a higher chance of getting an SSR servant, but presumably, if the roll you're gonna make is going to be an ultra rare, or whatever it is, SSR, 5-star rarity, the odds of that 5-star being the servant you want are higher. And yet you'll still get all sorts of weird things. Sexy dreams? Nah. Nothing fun like that. What's with this place? It's all traps and guards, no treasure anywhere. Perhaps. Maybe somebody gave you bad information. Not possible. Do you think I spend my days just aimlessly bombing things all the time? Absolutely not. Thorough intel gathering is the first step to victory. Gilgamesh could never fool me with a fake treasury. I tested the durability of each treasury to find the real one, and even made sure to perfectly conceal my efforts by destroying the evidence every time. The most durable treasury would surely be the true treasury, don't you think? Maybe. It makes sense to protect the real treasury the most thoroughly. That's the whole point of security. Right? That's why I was sure this was the right one, and I've been spending my days and nights examining its structure and flyovers. You know how I make a copy of Venus with my noble phantasm? Essentially the same idea. I've so thoroughly memorized the layout. It's as if it's been etched into my spirit origin. I can walk through this place with my eyes closed. What spectacular dedication and diligence. I expect nothing less from you, Ishtar. But even after all your efforts, you're still falling into into every trap here. What does that mean? Well, they may be detailed copies, but they're all miniatures that can fit in my palm. I couldn't confirm all the internal structures or copying the complicated structures and gimmicks. But it should be enough if I can remember all the paths, right? Besides, it's such a pain to memorize the location of all the traps. These traps seem to have been placed specifically for intruders who know the layout in mind. In other words, exactly. If one can predict how the sneaky rodent behaves, then one knows exactly where to place the traps. That voice! I suppose I miscalculated a bit in making my traps too weak, as these rodents are unusually sturdy. What? Hey, you! What's the big idea coming out here and haunting this place? Fool! I would never allow my death to be disturbed by something so trivial. But alarms kept ringing all throughout the underworld because you kept getting caught in my traps, and I couldn't stay dead even if I wanted to. And the Queen of Kur kept nagging at me, demanding I either go stop the alarms or wring the neck of the idiot who keeps on triggering the alarm. I'm sorry our terrible goddess is causing trouble. Hey, don't apologize to him. And did you just say terrible? I have a legitimate claim to half the treasure here as my reward. I had no idea what you were talking about at first, but yes, that. How terribly unfortunate for you, Ishtar. You see, that agreement just reached its statute of limitations a mere day ago. Come, take a good look at the contract. Do you see this engraving here at the bottom left of the back side of the tablet, that's only visible when you shine the sun's light directly onto it? However, in the event of Gilgamesh's death, or if no payment is made within 15 days, this agreement shall be null and void. Ah, how unfortunate. Truly unfortunate. Good for Siduri, that was marvelous advice on her part. Who could have foreseen a goddess like Ishtar making such a foolish mistake? Well, aren't you clever, you Goldie jerk? Looking at you, I'd much prefer the younger you than the way you are now. Besides, there's no such thing as a statute of limitation in an agreement made with a goddess. Either you pay up or you die. Or would you rather I destroy you and all of Uruk? I'm only telling you this is the contract we signed. Besides, I'm already dead. No, that's not my point. If that's how it is, then I'm gonna drag you out of the underworld, revive you, and then kill you again! And then make you pay up. You really want to repeat your trip to the underworld yet again? Even I'm impressed with how much of a mess you're willing to make for your own selfish desires. That spirit of yours is the only thing worth praising. But since you're a grown-up, you should also be aware of how much of a pain you are. Right back at you! Practically the same person. Ah, quiet, all of you! Barbaric thief and her idiotic companions both. You've dragged me into this mess, and that itself would be irritating enough. I'm going to kick you mongrels out, stop the alarm, and go back to the underworld. I am not dying from exhaustion again now that I'm already dead. I'm not going to move a muscle until I get the treasure I'm owed, and I'm not letting you get away. Ishtar's starting to get incoherent in her anger. But we're going to have to fight, Master. End of April, huh? Okay. Be gone, thought!
牛若丸と覚えてもらおう。
Sorry, Gilga, you're gonna have to own up to Ushi. Yeah, Maeve is pretty cool. Quite a bit. Thanks to a certain comic, huh? Pray tell.
承知。はい。やあ。ふっ。たっ。任せて。
God, those goddesses are evil. Frickin' Aphrodite and Hera.
なんの。
Yeah, Aphrodite, Hera, and even could be real bitches. Hello. Fatal battle. Oh, it's just you. Oh shit, that killed you? Sorry, we didn't get to get Ushi's noble in there. Now, tell me where your treasures are, and get rid of all your traps. Fool! Nothing could ever make me hand over my treasury to you. I transferred it well out of your reach a long time ago. This is just an extra bank deposit vault. No way! How could a third deposit vault still reek so much of treasure? Just how high is your golden rule ranked? It does make me wonder It does make me wonder what too much wealth is, but in my case I do not spend my fortune. I simply accumulate more riches. I am a true collector. My infinite collection of treasure exists, as I cannot be the true wielder of each and every one of them. But you can neither be collector nor wielder, you useless goddess. You do not love your treasures, nor will they love you back in turn. You're the sort who comes and goes with all the constancy of a shooting star. Basically, you're a whore, so forget about weighing yourself down with more wealth that you can carry. Do not burden yourself with earthly treasures. Flying about in the heavens suits you far better anyway. King Gilgamesh disappeared. We were able to see him again, but he left so quickly. Thoughts are still beautiful. It's okay, I don't care, not one bit. I won in battle, and he won't bother us again. But thanks for worrying about me. That cheered me up a bit. But we're faced with another problem now. If this isn't the treasury of Babylon, then all my research was for nothing. My plan I came up with to get the treasure will need to be re-examined. A flat-broke goddess is still beautiful. Is that supposed to be encouraging, or are you mocking me? Are you mocking me? Which is it? I believe those are Senpai's true feelings. But what King Gilgamesh said before he left didn't sound like mockery to me, either. Don't you think that was his own way of acknowledging who you are? Who knows? Being correct and being right aren't always the same thing. Even if he did praise me, I'd much rather have found out where the treasury is. There's a lot of trouble for nothing. This is the last thing I wanted to hear, dummy. You better hold your tongue, Sarah. Listen, I'm never going to give up. I'm gonna redeem myself for my blunder at the demonic front. I'm sure you will. Give me that quartz, baby! Cool. Hooray for the Ishtar. That was just hidden from me. I didn't even notice. Oh great, there's one in Septum too. For what? For who? Oh, you? Not gonna do that right now. Alrighty, I've got to go. I will be doing a bit more lore. I've got the lore of Matahari coming out on Friday. That'll be fun. I did finish reading. I will also be working on the lore of Cersei, because I really want to do that. Yeah, no, Reen's not flat. Y'all are just basing her on standards of, like, fucking Tititoria and Kiara and such. But yes, so there'll be that, and thank you all for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe to OtakuDaiKun for more anime lists, reviews, discussions, lore videos, let's plays, and the Holy Waifu Wars. Until next time, celebrate your fandom. And if you haven't yet, definitely watch my final kill count video.